Love 99.5 FM and also on the Joy News channel. We're on DSTV 421, Go TV 144. My name is Gifty Andopia. Remember, we're on myjoyonline.com as well, where you can get some of the results, those that we have at least. And I am here with Samson Ladi Anyanene, of course, also Raymond Aqua. So, guys, we're back. A little bit of break for us, but the Electoral Commission, well, now we know. We have to come back tomorrow. Well, later today, to continue. Now, the EC has says, and Evans has wrapped it up briefly, but so far we know that 14 of the results have come in.
Regions.
From the regions have come in. So we're waiting for 2 more. The 7 that they have certified, they have released. We can talk about it briefly. But what do you make of what's just happened? May I start with you, Samson?
So it's better and better late than never. So what they have done is go to come to share with the Ghanaian people, more importantly, because they were the ones who had, giving themselves a deadline and told Ghanaians that they would deliver within this time. And so if there is any issue, it is also behoves them to come to the public and to explain what was holding them back. However, I believe that they could have done a lot better than what they are doing. I'm not saying could have done better in terms of worked to declare the results according to their own time, but the declaration is as important as keeping the people updated is. So right when they blew the whistle, I was expecting, frequent updates in a very organized manner, and not for the media itself to go seeking answers for things that were going on. In fact, the very last press conference that the EC held, they had given the assurance, an announcement that they would be updating the nation from time to time, regular updates, once the polls began. So my expectation has been that for all the period, particularly yesterday, that from morning they would have done one press conference, the next, at each time that the issues were coming up, they would have been explaining. Just in the way that they have been doing, is it let the people know,
the
press conferences? Yes, citizens must know press conferences. At this time, they needed to do that regularly within a day. Okay. But unfortunately, they haven't done so. So I say better late than never. What they have done, at least those of us who have followed, the people who are also asleep, they will wake up the next morning receiving the information through the media that the EC says it has received 14 from 14 regions. Yes. It has 2 more to go, and it is hoping to get them. And as and when it gets them, it will, consider doing the declaration. Okay. Of course, my election headquarters has also, done what it knows how to do best, which I'm sure also gave some people the opportunity to even sleep. The path to 50% plus 1, like we always do. If you follow the path to 50% plus 1, we have 17, constituencies left. Now, out of the 17 that we have left, we have done all the rest. And in all of them, we have given you what to expect. That to reach 50% plus 1, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo needs a little above 300,000. And to reach 50% plus 1, John Dramani Mahama also needs some 800,000 plus.
So you can do the permutations.
Right.
from there. Raymond, she explains that with the two that that are holding us back, there are some issues there. She mentions the Bono East and the northern region where she says there have been some tensions that is impeding movement, and with the northern region there was an overvoting case. There was an overvoting of one by one, and it looks like the people aren't able to agree. They are asking for the entire process to be annulled. I think that's what I heard her say.
That's true. Now, first and foremost, it does appear to me that the question that Zalai was asking is actually cemented by the claim she made. It's as if she's isolating only two specific constituencies, and even possible specific polling stations within constituencies as where the problems are. It does appear to me once again that the Electoral Commission, if it has all the other results, with the exception of these two, it is, and I know that in times past, Dr. Farijan has actually eliminated about two or so or more constituencies and said that their results would not in any way impact the final results, except this Electoral Commission is of the opinion that what it has received so far, even in the regions that they have not fully gotten the results, the very specific constituencies involved would make a massive impact. Let's not forget, there was a point in time that about 40,000 votes determined who became president of this republic. And if a constituency has more than 120,000 votes, some of them do anyway, it can impact the elections in some way. Except that all of this is brought about because the EC is insisting on having regional results. If it said I'm taking it from the constituencies directly, it would have had all the constituencies with the exception of two, or the limited cases, let's say three, or even if there are four, so that you determine right away. What I hear the Electoral Commission chairperson says, I don't know, wait on. Unless we get the region telling us that we are finished with 90%, it's left with only two. Or they do not know that the regions are finished with 90% and it's left with only the incidents that she mentioned. So in those isolated polling stations. So we can deal with the rest of the results without these ones. It is in her response, I find no confidence that even the timelines, not necessarily strict timelines, given maybe adhered to.
I think she didn't really answer that question by herself. It was
Dr. Bosman. That's what I'm saying. It's in the response that I find no confidence, because you see, the Electoral Commission came with the understanding that there has been some misunderstanding and not so clear issues about what's happening. It does appear to me the only reason why the Electoral Commission came to do this press conference is to tell the people of this republic that disregard the claims that they are, what they call the results being changed.
Being manipulated.
Because she mentioned that, and I counted on 5 different occasions.
Oh, okay.
I counted the 5 because I counted the 5 because it's as if at that part it was very important to her. She cited and went through the procedure that the electoral process goes through, the role of the various political parties and the agents involved in this case as being validating the reality that there is no way anybody can influence the election or change results along the line. Asking people to disregard that claim, that's, I think, is the main reason why she came out to come and put out this statement.
But this assurance is necessary, especially based on the perspective of Samson, that it's necessary to give the people the assurance, the information, the explanation of the process, for example.
I get you. What I wanted to hear was in Techiman South, this was the incident. The incident never affected the results in any way. The military did not intimidate anybody. So let's not pretend that these are general issues. There were specific claims, for example, made by the NDC in their press conference. Those are the things, if you wish to address, let us know what the real details are so that we are confident that there is no general disregard for the claims being made without corresponding evidence that suggests otherwise. I don't know if you get my point.
I get your point.
So I wanted that kind of response, not the blanket one that says that, oh, well, I mean, clearly, we are not doing anything wrong. But why should we take your word for it and not the people making the claim? Why should anybody presume that you are the one saying the truth anyway? So I think the statement she came to make gave some assurances, but to me left more questions than answers about what's supposed to be the case. Ideally, and maybe they were careful in not coming to say, at 10 a.m. this morning, we'll come and deliver the results. They left a big room.
Yes. I think Dr. Bosman Asari said this evening.
Yes. You see, first, tomorrow.
Yeah.
then they press a little bit for definite answers. Oh, we meant tomorrow. No. Then they say, no, madam, it's already tomorrow.
Yes.
So do you mean Wednesday or Thursday? Then she said, oh, okay, if it's already tomorrow, then it's Wednesday. I mean, then there were questions about Wednesday morning, afternoon, evening.
Yes.
Then it's as if they were not so sure what time they really wanted to do this thing. I don't have a problem with saying that by Wednesday we will deliver the results. But from the look of things, from the unresolved matters that you are led to deal with, from the yet to crop up matters that you do not know will crop up, and again, if the issues are that isolated and small in nature, I actually believe they could have done or given us a stipulation of when they are going to deliver the results. As for evening, that's another space.
But you see, she said that with the northern region, because of the overvoting by one vote, someone, or she said some people have decided that the entire election should be...
Whose responsibility is to resolve that problem? Can she resolve it? Does it require a tribunal? Does it require external impact? You see, those are the things that... So if you know it's not your responsibility to resolve it, then you can't give us this timeline. Or you may have to say that that constituency is inconsequential to the larger outcome of the elections.
Exactly.
That's the question I actually asked early on. And you could have known this if you were asking people to send you direct voter tabulations from the various constituencies and their, what they call it, collation centers. And their returning officers giving you this case.
So
the guy who is declaring who is a member of parliament in a constituency could be the same guy sending you the results, not going through the regional end. I'm not saying it's too late, but it is appearing today that because they are taking results from the regions, if the regions do not tell them that we have all of the constituencies available within our region, we will not take it.
And because it's a whole region,
and
then you have a bigger number of votes.
And let's be clear, regions are immaterial to who wins presidential elections. Do you know why? Because a region can have more votes than the other. Winning number of regions is inconsequential to winning the national elections. Okay. Assuming there are, let's say, 1.2 million votes are standing in the Ashanti region, that's almost like 2 other regions, or even 3 other regions. So you can win all the 3 other regions and yet lose because you didn't get enough votes from the Ashanti region. So this fixation with regions as being source of some form of information or some form of tabulation, I just don't get it. But if this is the format they want to use, it leaves so many questions still in my mind after this press conference. And I would have preferred that they came with specific objective to say that, listen, all the things they are saying is not true. In the Techiman South incident, this is what really happened.
Yeah.
We have evidence suggests that there's nothing with tampering of the votes, no intimidation, nothing of this sort happened. But as for this general, just disregard because we believe the people who run the LEC are saints, really.
Okay. I don't know if you have seen the results, those that have been released.
Yeah, I have been following the EC's website keenly.
So I think we have results from the Northeast region. So we're expecting 6 of these flyers that they've done. We have one from Northeast region. We have another from Upper West region. We have another from Ahafo region.
Yes.
We have another from Volta region. We have Bono region.
Yeah.
We have Oti region. And then we have Central region. These are the results that the Electoral Commission has released so far, 7 of them.
Out of the 14 they have in their possession.
Yes. Do you find anything unique about these results? Or the regions they're coming from? Possible that we're able to get the processes done quickly over there. But what are your initial comments? I don't know, if Samson, have you seen these?
Yes, I have seen them. Except that I wanted to actually bring our attention to something.
Okay.
You know, when it comes to election results and results that have problems and have to be dealt with, the way the court deals with them when they have to get to the court is the way that gives us the idea as to how to treat the problem.
Okay, can you go over that?
Right. So, when there's a problem like one constituency, as we are looking at, where there was one overvoting, Raymond, who has experience in these election issues, is referring to the international standard that is used. And the standard is, what is the consequence of that result on the overall? That result, how will it impact the overall? Can you do with or without that result and still have your, declaration intact?
Okay.
So I'm just going to show you something in Section 20 of the Representation of the People Act. It tells you how, if it went to court, the court will deal with the issue.
With the overvoting.
And that is what gives us, a path of finding a resolution, even before we get to court. So normally, the court looks at what the law says. If what has happened has so extensively affected what is going on. If it is not, it will be deemed negligible.
Okay.
Remember the number of suits that Trump decided to mount in the US. All of them were thrown out on one major reason. And the major reason was that what he was seeking to impugn was not sufficient or significant to impact on the entire
result. Right. Okay.
So if you go through the law, it actually dictates, for as long as that which is being impugned will not affect the whole.
We can
deal with it.
Right.
And there are also situations where the court can actually deal with just a vote, dealing with a vote. And it will call for a scrutiny of the votes, and then a vote could be struck out.
Okay.
So if there is this
provision,
this minor problem, I do not expect it to be elevated to frustrate or even further, as it were, delay what has to be done.
Okay.
It's not correct.
Okay.
If that would be cited as a major issue, I disagree.
You disagree.
And earlier, I think it was Israel who was interacting with Dr. Srebo Kweku.
Very much so.
And he's the man in charge of electoral services. And he was clear about this principle. All of them know this principle. So we ought to move on and not to use overvoting by one in one constituency, as part of the reasons. Yes, as for the questions of where she spoke about the rains and all of that, well,
I've admitted rain.
Yeah.
I think that it's a legitimate reason because we have difficulties. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. We need to wrap up and hand over to Emefa Apau and Benjamin Akakpo in the Joy News studios. I mean, they will be hanging on from now until 5 a.m. So let me take your very final.
We wish them very well.
Let me take your very final thoughts, and then we can make it brief for me, Raymond. I know you can go on and on. Raymond,
as a researcher, he's an intellectual, an academician. So once you ask the question, he has to go into his philosophy, and bring all together.
Yes, and as a returnee,
I just love to listen to him because of that.
And as a returnee, it becomes even more complicated. Raymond Akwa, what do you want people to take away from all this the conversation we've had?
So we've had wonderful conversations about how elections have been so far, the various claims from the political parties and the counterclaims from the other political parties. As we speak, they remain as such, claims and counterclaims. All of this is happening because the Electoral Commission has not, as come out with what's supposed to be the final results yet, and people are sitting on tenterhooks. The Electoral Commission explained its stance on this one. I hope that sometimes, and there are novel situations you can't learn anything from or even apply previous knowledge to, but we cannot consistently have our people sometimes suffering because we deliberately make it look like elections are a do or die affair. We cannot do that.
Right.
The people depend on the educated elites in this country to know better, to act better. And even though consistently we have disappointed them, sometimes we cannot subject them to this kind of torture because we are needlessly making them suffer for the kind of services they provided and the resources they provided for our education. Beyond that, I think there's a very simple way out of all of these. The Electoral Commission, as of now, has done some very wonderful things. They have also done some things they have to learn from. I hope that the timing they are given, they will stick to it.
Okay.
Get this over and done with. And do not dismiss when people raise legitimate issues, especially when it doesn't appear that you have investigated and found them to be true or untrue.
All right. Thank you very much, Raymond. Samson, your few final words.
All I'll say is that everybody keep to your election headquarters. Of course, MFR and Benjamin are taking over. But as we have just done a while ago, Evans and Winston, they took you through the numbers. We have done 258 constituencies, and that brought up the numbers so clean. We have 17 constituencies to complete it, but we have given you a picture which you can rely on to reduce the tension that you feel. The messages you are receiving from people is that, there's tension, they are sitting on tenterhooks and they don't like it. So you can take that one. President Akufo-Addo at the moment needs just a little in excess of 300,000 to be able to make the 50% plus one mark. President Mahama needs a little above 800,000 to make the 50% plus one winning mark. There is a total of 1 million plus votes at stake. That's all there is. You can go to sleep. At the right time, we will tell you what it is.
All right. I'm sure you know what that means, what something has just said. You know what it means. But of course, the details of what he just said, you can find on myjoyonline.com. You can also find on our social media handles. We put all of them there. But I just want to remind you that our election coverage is brought to you in association with Petrosol. Clean fuel in full quantity is always a delightful experience. Taste it. Cover coffee, taste it, love it. Magdan Shipping and Logistics Limited, your total logistics partner. Pad Ever Limited, your home of modern furniture. DDP Outdoor Limited, serving great brands. Festiva, adding flavors to your life. And with 3-year lotteries, star 787 hash, Ghana's premier and biggest jackpot lottery, HEPA Plus mixture for your general well-being. All I want to say is whatever it is that you do, think about you, think about your parent, think about your family, think about your loved ones. Ghana must be the winner at the end of it all. My name is Gifty Andopia. Like I said, I just want to say thanks to all of you who have been listening to us. Continue listening. We'll be back here. I will be back here later, but MFR Pau and Benjamin Akakpo are taking over right now. Many thanks for your time. I've been doing this with Samson Ladi Anyanene and Raymond Aqua.